it's Adrian. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to bring you my November TBR. I've got a relatively short TBR for you today because I do plan on taking part in 2 readathons this month. Plus, I am going back to the States because my sister decided to get married. Very excited for her. Not very excited for my wallet. But my sister's getting married on December 2nd, so I will be going back to the States at the end of November in the middle of one of the readathons, which makes things a little interesting. But anyway, I have 4 books, 2 audiobooks, and these are not including the 2 TBRs for the readathons that will be happening. I will be taking place in the ContemporaryAThon, which is, I believe, the 13th to the 19th, and the Minimoji, which is the 23rd to the 30th. Wow, all these dates. They're all in my head somewhere. Anyway, let's just jump right into my TBR. First up is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I am halfway through. I said this in my last video, but I started it and I got really sick, so I put it down. But I'm going to be finishing it up in the next couple days. So far, so good, but I'll let you know how it goes in my November wrap-up, because we're in November now. The next 2 books that are up are books that are part of series, because one of my quarterly goals is to finish up or at least catch up on some series. So the first one that I'm going to be trying to read is Airfire by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 3rd book to the Throne of Glass series. It took me a while to pick up this book because I was okay with Throne of Glass. I liked it well enough. Kind of Midnight I wasn't a huge fan of, so I wasn't sure if the series was just going to go downhill, and I knew that this was her first series, so I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. But Jade from Jade Reads read it. She really loved it. She had kind of the same issues with the first 2 books that I did, but I would like to pick this one up in November so that I can move on with some of the other books in the series. They get progressively longer, so it makes them a little bit stressful, but I am excited to read them. Like I said, I'm trying to knock out some series that I've started and get started on some new series, but that's a story for another day. Next up is a book that I'm not entirely sure I'm going to read because I've been reading a lot of dark books this past month, but I would like to finish up the series by the end of the year. So I'm putting it on my TBR. If I don't read it, it's fine. I'll read it in December. But that's Clockwork Princess. This is the last book to the Mortal Instruments series. I read the 2nd book last month. I liked it well enough, but the romance was a little bit too much for me. I am curious to see how things work out, and I would like to slowly make my way through the Mortal Instruments series from Cassandra Clare as well. But those are one of the things that I have to kind of space out because I can only handle so many dark books. I am very excited, by the way, total side note, for the ContemporaryAThon because I need some light and fluffy books to just get me out of the dark reading, because October was a little bit too much. I don't read that many dark books, but I crammed them all in October. It was a little too much for me. Speaking of light and fluffy, the next book that I'd like to read this month is The Heir by Kiera Cass. This is the 4th book to the Selection series, the 1st book in the spin-off. So basically this is the Next Generation Selection series. I've heard that this girl, the main character of this girl, is kind of snooty and she's just not likable, but you know what? I don't really care. I had a love-hate relationship with the Selection series, so if I hate this book, I hate it. But I still want to read it because it's just mind-numbing, and that's what I need. Next up is a book that I read last year, and that's An Old-Fashioned Thanksgiving by Louise May Alcott. This is a short story just about Thanksgiving. I think it might be 30 pages. I read it last year and I really liked it, so I'm going to read it with my kids this year. By the way, last year I did do a Thanksgiving recommendations book, so if you're looking for Thanksgiving themed books, you can go check that one out. I was planning on doing another one this year, but I would have had to plan it out already. It's one of the things I was going to do last week while I was sick. So I'm not going to do it. I'll bring you one next year. But if you're interested in Thanksgiving recommendations, you can check out my video from last year. I'll put it up here. Beware though, it was one of my first videos that I did, so it's a little awkward, but you know, it still has good recommendations in it. And the last book that I would like to read this month that I actually have already started, I read the 1st chapter, and that's Soul by Patricia McCormick. I'm doing this on audiobook and it's only available in Dutch, so I'm listening to the translated version. Hopefully I like it. This is about a girl who has been sold into human trafficking. So it's one of those hard books, but an important book. I read last year another book about human trafficking called Broken Flowers, Sex Slavery in America, which was very interesting. This was more of a nonfiction, and it was more geared toward the program that they have in the States called Run for Freedom that helps girls who have been stuck in human trafficking. Sold is more of a fiction story, I think. Again, still a very tough topic to read about, but an important topic to read about, and I am looking forward to it. So that's an ambitious November TBR. Obviously, since 2 of my weeks are going to be focused on readathons, I'm not going to get through all of these books, but I wanted to have choices so that I can just pick and read what I'm in the mood for. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't yet, I would love for you to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye!